Can you confirm or talk about a feline species?
Yeah. This is a higher density species that they don't need craft. They just appear before people. There's been a capture or kill order out on them for some time, sadly, by the various secret space programs. And I actually saw one of these lavender-looking beings after they had been killed. And they had used some sort of electric net or some sort of device that captured them, and this being had been electrocuted, was burned. It had a very bad death. And it's sad because these are very loving, benevolent beings. And the secret space program wants to interrogate them.
Yeah.
So they've had a killer capture order out on them for some time.
Wow. And so kind of like that movie Time Jumper, they have a net.
Yeah.
They got 'em.
Oh yeah, Jumper.
Wow.
No.
Can you tell us, are there still gray abductions going on? They seem to have kind of dropped out of the limelight. What's your story on the gray?
Yeah, they have reduced, but they still have a treaty to where they're allowed to do that here. So, yes,
is that treaty through our government?
Yeah, it was a treaty agreed on very early by our government, and we do the best we can to manage them, to track them, to find out who they're abducting. There's also the breeder program where you hear people being abducted and having all kinds of things done to their reproductive systems, including being impregnated and babies removed. There are several non-terrestrial groups that are involved in what they call the breeder program, and including the Greys.
Can I ask?
Yes. Yes. That's how hybrids are created in the breeder program.
Can I ask? The question was, what was your question? What did you say?
Yeah, how were hybrids created
Is
in
that
this
how
breeder program?
hybrids are created? Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd like to ask a follow-up question there. Can we identify any of those abductions and taking and doing the breeder programs as benevolent and part of a conscious agreement, or are these kind of abductions and violating of free will?
Well, some of the people that are being abducted are actually human incarnations of these beings. This grand experiment, these beings aren't here conducting the experiment. They're a part of the grand experiment. Many of these Super Federation groups will incarnate in human bodies to go through the process that we go through, and also they are monitored and picked up by the non-terrestrial group that they're from, their soul group, that monitors them throughout their life here on Earth as a part of the experiment.
Can you talk about the Draco Orion Rigel story? We hear about that the Draco are from the Orion and the Rigel system. Are there good guys there too? And what was that history?
Well, I've heard from several different sources where the reptilians supposedly come from. Some of them have stated that they actually came from here, that this planet had pretty much been stolen from them by non-terrestrial groups that wanted to start this grand experiment with a human type of being. And that is what I've heard. Now, they reside in a lot of different star systems. Most of the star systems they reside in are star systems they have conquered. So it's hard to know the real history of a deceptive being.
Yeah. Are there hybrid reptilian humans that get free of control and the Matrix?
You know, I have not heard of that scenario. Most of the reptilians are far more controlled than we are even. Most of them are infested with nanites or are just energetically controlled by the higher caste beings. So when this event occurs and it destroys any AI in their bodies, some of these reptilians are going to be very confused. And I don't know, it would be interesting to see what they're like when they're not under this control system, this negative control system. They may have an opportunity themselves to change.
Why are so many people, especially young people, dealing with mental illness today?
Well, we've got a large group of young people that are coming into this world that have never been in it before, that are higher density non-terrestrial beings that are coming here to assist us during this very pivotal time. And I'm convinced that there are a fair number of these beings in this room right now. Oh, the mental illness, yes. Not that part. The reason that they're showing signs that resemble mental illness is they don't like being here. They can't take living in this density. It's like living underwater, and they just can't handle it. And if they succumb to these feelings before they are awoken, then they're going to think that they're crazy because they have this knowledge, they have these experiences that don't make sense in this physical world that all of us live in.